As Arsenal announced their third signing of the window, Christian Norgard may have arrived, but the forward department is about to get interesting. So today we'll break down a massive report on Eze Madueke, as well as getting the breaking news on Rodrigo Goes. We'll find out about a new meeting with Gyökeres, as well as finding out if Arsenal are still going to make a move for Crystal Palace's Eze. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Bass14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and I hope you guys are doing sensational. After Arsenal dropped a surprise offer that caused so much controversy, as ever my friends, we're here to break it all down. So as per, smash a like on this video if you do enjoy, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, helping your boy on the road to 300,000 subscribers. But starting off with the Arsenal return, as 2025-26 soon approaches, the Arsenal players are finally back on duties, with the likes of Declan Rice, Miles Skelly, Gabriel Martinelli and Ricardo Calafiori all smiles, as Arsenal kickstarted their official preseason training, with the likes of Miles, Marino and Ben White all very excited. The Arsenal players were being put through their paces, from sprint test to fitness test, alongside the arrival of a brand new player on his first ever day. Here was the brand new midfielder Martin Zubimendi, alongside his former Sociedad teammate in Mikel Merino. And talking about Arsenal midfielders, a new one has also arrived, as Arsenal announced the official arrival of Christian Norgard, with the caption bringing a wealth of experience. Here was the player alongside Mikel Arteta and Andrea Berta, as Norgard joins Arsenal on a £10 million deal, as confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. He is the player to replace Thomas Partey. And as Mikel Arteta says, we are delighted to welcome Christian Norgard to Arsenal. He is an international player with a wealth of experience in the Premier League. He has proven leadership skills and a strong character which is invaluable to our squad. For a player that is set to wear the number 16 Arsenal shirt, a number previously worn by the likes of Aaron Ramsey, as Norgard says, I get to hear the anthem and be a part of the Champions League campaign. It's a childhood dream, something that I didn't think would be possible, so it's something I'm really happy about. But when talking about the Arsenal players that have returned, we've also got a few surprising ones. Starting off with the forgotten man in Albert Sambi Lokonga, officially back at Arsenal after 2 consecutive loan spells. At Luton he was decent, and despite making a strong start at Sevilla, having played only 23 times last season, he was far from a guaranteed starter. And the player himself has actually made a social media announcement, posting a lengthy message on his Instagram story, saying let's go into preseason more focused than ever. We don't know what next season holds yet, but I'm grateful for every experience, and to every person that I get to work with, every player I play with, and to every fan that I connect with. Grateful to live the life I live, and I will continue to give everything. Let's enjoy the process before the process becomes the past. Ready to go again. Strong words for a player that arrived at Arsenal as a young man, but now at 25 years of age, the question falls to Arsenal. With the departures of Jorginho and Thomas Partey, despite signing Martin Zubimendi and Christian Norgard, will they give Sambi one more year? For a player that's able to play as a number 8, but most likely as a number 6, but with only 1 year left on his Arsenal contract, for me the most likely scenario is very obvious. If the right offer does arrive, Arsenal will let Sambi Lokonga leave. But what about the case of Fabio Vieira, another player set to report back to first team duties? After a long year with Porto where he went to the FIFA Club World Cup, the player will be given more time, but with recent reports from the Gunner Block confirming that Arsenal will listen to offers of the player, according to more reports coming out of Italy, Parma have asked for information on Arsenal's Fabio Vieira, which of course is very intriguing when you think about it. A team whose first team manager is Carlos Cuesta, the youngest manager in Serie A history, and more importantly a former member of Mikel Arteta's coaching staff. A man that has worked alongside Vieira and will know the player inside out. You put that alongside the fact that Arsenal are on the market for a brand new attacking midfielder, with the names of Eze still to be discussed, the space for Fabio Vieira is getting more and more limited. So for a player that Arsenal once spent £35 million on, let me know down below in the comments, how much do you think Fabio Vieira is worth? Because if we're talking about Arsenal attacking midfielders, you've got to mention the star boy Ethan Nwaneri, with Arsenal locked into negotiations as they try to agree a brand new contract. The player's recent Instagram post was definitely interesting, seen wearing the Sporting Lisbon shirt. While it doesn't confirm any move to Sporting, of course it has got fans asking, what is actually happening with his future? Despite the interest from the likes of Chelsea and other Premier League sides, Arsenal remain very confident that they will get Nwaneri to sign a brand new contract, a player that is now set to wear the number 22 shirt. There has been a lot of talk about Arsenal and their pathways. Will they give Nwaneri the platform he deserves? Which I do find as a very surprising question. For a player that played 64% of Arsenal's first team games last season, not to even mention Miles Skelly, Mikel Arteta has already proven, if you've got the player that's got the quality to play in the first team, regardless of your age you're gonna get minutes. But the next few weeks are going to be decisive. Are Arsenal going to guarantee Nwaneri the minutes? Especially when you think about the next star boy on his way. We of course are talking about 15-year-old Max Down, who was once again seen training alongside the Arsenal first team as he returned to pre-season, with a caption on Instagram saying back at it. Despite the intriguing report from the hand of Arsenal, claiming that Chelsea were asking for Max Stallman as a part of a deal for Eze Madueke, a deal that Arsenal said no to straight away. You've now got the father of Max Stallman coming out on social media, confirming that Arsenal is our club and you know that, with reports also claiming Dalman is set to take the number 56 shirt at Arsenal next season. That's where all the focus turns towards pre-season, with Max Dalman set to fly with the Arsenal squad, going all the way to Asia. How many minutes is Mikel Arteta going to give him? Because despite of all the hype and all the excitement, when you've got a player who's still only 15 years of age, he's not even sat his GCSEs yet. We've also got to be very careful as a fan base to give the kid the time that he deserves. But with our first game against AC Milan being less than 13 days away, a major question that Arsenal fans are asking is, will that team include Gyökeres, a player that Arsenal have been in very advanced negotiations for, trying to secure their big number 9. Now, according to Ben Jacobs, Arsenal's last formal talks of Sporting for Gyökeres took place on Sunday. Understand an asking price of €70 million plus 10 was quoted. Discussions between all parties remain advanced, but Sporting are yet to receive an improved formal bid, despite the expectation of one. The deal remains close, but Sporting will not accept the €65 million fixed fee, and are now waiting to hear again from Arsenal before the week is out. Despite Arsenal agreeing a contract with the player, as well as the player doing everything possible to get himself to the Emirates Stadium, it seems like once again Andrea Berta is being very stern, as according to Sky Sports News, while Arsenal and Sporting aren't too far away from a compromise in the Gyökeres fee, the Gunners will be disciplined in their approach and have done due diligence on other targets for if a deal cannot be struck. And the prime example of that, of course, is Benjamin Sesko, reportedly Mikel Arteta's number 1 striker target. Arsenal had their price tag and they were willing to walk away because Leipzig were willing to compromise. But in the case of Gyökeres, I'm not as concerned, because as once again confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, Arsenal are in very advanced talks with Gyökeres. Gyökeres, even in the recent hours, has been very clear with Sporting that he will not show up for training. The two clubs remain in conversation about the gap in valuation, a deal that I fully expect that Arsenal will complete. Whether it's the start of next week or the end of this one, for me a here we go is definitely pending. And then it becomes a question of how is the player going to fit in, with the mindset of coming to the Emirates Stadium and being a starter straight away. There has been a massive debate in the Arsenal fan base. By signing a player that's thrived mainly in transition, are Arsenal getting the right profile? Because with the amount of times that Arsenal played against deep blocks, can Gyökeres thrive in those tight spaces? But for your boy, I'm looking at it very differently. In the case of Gyökeres, not only will he improve Arsenal in terms of natural goal threat, but he'll also allow Arsenal to create chances they haven't been able to create. From the darting runs in behind to a decisive nature in transition, Arsenal ultimately getting a player that will allow them to change the way they attack. Because even though we play against low blocks consistently, if you look at the very best teams in the world, whether it's PSG or Liverpool, they've also got a high level of transitional quality, something that Arsenal definitely need to add. Gyökeres helps that massively. Then you've got the other perspective. Having just seen PSG thrash Real Madrid 3-0, reaching the Club World Cup final as they look to become the first ever team to win 7 trophies in one calendar year, the same team that knocked out Arsenal in the Champions League semi-finals. But games that Arsenal fans will remember very clearly. Despite PSG deservedly going through, Arsenal had their chances and had their moments, despite having Mikel Merino as their striker. So ask yourself the question, if Arsenal had a Gyökeres profile in those 2 games, the result could have been very different. But moving on to Arsenal's wide forward offer. Despite all the focus being on Gyökeres, as Arsenal close into a massive centre forward signing, as reports have claimed time and time again, a wide forward is also a priority not far behind. And let's just say the market has definitely started to develop. From Spurs closing a deal for Mohamed Kudus, with a here we go confirming a deal in place for a fee of £55 million. A player that was definitely once appreciated by Mikel Arteta. Fans have been asking the question of why didn't Arsenal make a move for a player that only scored 5 goals and got 4 assists last season. As shown by his positions played, he was still offering a very versatile solution. 24 years of age with fantastic ball carrying capacity. The answer for me falls down to where Kudus thrives best. Going into a Tottenham side under a brand new manager in Thomas Frank, who often plays 2 number 10s alongside his striker, Kudus is going to get a lot of central freedom. But with Arsenal on the market for a more natural wide forward, as much as I love the player and I thought we should have gone for him, there is a reason why Arsenal have had their other targets. So now let's talk about Real Madrid's Rodrigo, a player that was left on the bench for the 5th consecutive time in the Club World Cup. As confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, his future will be assessed from next week, with the Real Madrid exit a concrete possibility, with even manager Xavi Alonso saying after the game, why did Rodrigo play 0 minutes? It was a technical decision. We believe we needed different players. All but confirming the player isn't really a part of his first team plans, opting for a teenager instead in Gonzalo Garcia to play on the right hand side instead. With a reported price tag of £70 million, the decisive thing has always been the player's desire, with Real Madrid very open to a sale, but only if Rodrigo pushes for a move. After being knocked out of the Club World Cup, this is a player that will now have a decision to make, with reliable reports already confirming Arsenal would be his priority if he were to leave, with some reports even going as far as saying Real Madrid have made it clear Rodrigo has to move this summer. According to Fabrizio Romano, if Real Madrid receive a good proposal for Rodrigo, they are ready to accept it. Surely if you've got any level of ambition, if you want to be a starter for Brazil in the 2026 World Cup, the player should be pushing for a move. But in terms of Arsenal themselves, of course, they never failed to surprise. And let's just say they've shocked the world once again, with Chelsea's Eze Madueke being a reported target. Today we got a David Ornstein exclusive, confirming that Arsenal have made contact with Chelsea over a move for Eze Madueke. Clubs are now in talks after the winger agreed personal terms on a proposed 5-year contract. No deal yet, but the England international is prioritising Arsenal above any other interested sides, having already agreed terms with the player after getting a green light from the player themselves, which caused controversy in his own right. Now, according to a Fabrizio Romano exclusive, Arsenal have submitted their initial bid for Eze Madueke, around a £50 million package, add-ons included. Chelsea want more than £50 million fixed, as Alanga and similar deals remain their reference, with a good relationship between clubs as talks continue. Madueke has agreed terms with Arsenal. £50 million for a player that was initially reported as a potential backup. There's a reason why Arsenal fans haven't been the most happy. Despite Madueke being a decent player, the question that I ask straight away is the fund allocation, with reports claiming time and time again that Rodrigo was our main wide forward target. Surely if Arsenal spent £50 million on Madueke, that puts an end to the Rodrigo deal. But with Fabrizio Romano confirming, Mikel Arteta is very keen to sign Madueke, and the winger is very excited about the opportunity to go to Arsenal. It makes you wonder, what does Mikel Arteta have planned? For a player that is mainly seen at his best as a right winger, an area that Arsenal already have Bukayo Saka, despite Madueke being able to play on the left-hand side, is he even an upgrade on Gabriel Martinelli? Questions are definitely being asked. But in terms of the price tag itself, as confirmed by teams on Tix, it is believed that Arsenal's bid for Madueke was worth an initial £40 million, with a further £10 million in add-ons, but with Chelsea using Alanga and Kudus as their reference, both deals over £50 million. According to reports in the UK, Chelsea are happy with Arsenal's £50 million mark offer, but are asking for a little bit more up front, and that's when negotiations will continue, but are also expected to get done. I've seen the hashtag no to Madueke. I've even seen a petition from Arsenal fans not to make this deal happen, but in the case of the player himself, I won't sit here and say that he's a bum. When looking at his stats radar from last season, you'll see a player that's able to carry the ball while also being a high volume shooter. And ultimately the profile isn't as surprising when you think about Mikel Arteta's previous wide forward targets. Summer 2022, the failed pursuit of Rafinha, another left-footed right winger that was never going to play over Bukayo Saka, but most likely alongside. Even in this summer of 2025, also reportedly having interest in Leroy Sané. It seems like Mikel Arteta has always wanted a high volume shooter on the left-hand side that is also left-footed. So looking at Madueke's profile in isolation, 23 years of age and an England international with multiple years of Premier League experience, if you sign that player out of any team but Chelsea, I don't think there would have been this much of a backlash. But at the same time, Arsenal fans are allowed to ask questions. You cannot agree with every decision the club makes. Pressure definitely falls towards Mikel Arteta, reportedly pushing for the player himself, having just got over the controversy of Kai Havertz, a player that has definitely improved Arsenal, but has always caused mayhem in the fan base. Signing a player that has not excelled at Chelsea is always going to have major questions. But as confirmed by Sam C, Arsenal are trying to advance on Gyökeres and Madueke deals at the same time. Both deals are on. This is a deal where context is going to be very important, with reports already confirming that Arsenal looking to get 3 forwards over the line. By no means don't want Madueke over Rodrigo, but a third attacking signing has to be blockbuster. That's where we've got to talk about Eberechi Eze. As Sky Sports News confirms, Eze remains a primary target for Arsenal, and more importantly, according to reports in the UK, the move for Madueke is not expected to end Arsenal's interest in Crystal Palace's Eze, which was also confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, saying Eze is a separate deal from Madueke. Could we see these 3 English players playing for Arsenal next season? Because despite it being a fan's obligation to support any player that plays for the club, there is no denying the Madueke deal has caused a lot of controversy. A bit of Eze could definitely sweeten the mood, with the idea of Timber, Saka and Eze completing the Bible Bro trio, as they hopefully lay holy hands on the Manchester Devil come game week 1. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of the social medias, and the links are down below in the description. But that was all of your latest Arsenal transfer news today. After all the controversy of the Madueke bid, Arsenal fans right now aren't in the best of moods, but if we can get Gyökeres, here we go. I'm sure the mood will get lightened. So my friends, I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves and the bits.